Good morning and welcome to this HR Bite session, Leadership Development. In today's bite-sized webinar, we will cover off practical approaches to strengthen your leadership and transform your workplace culture. We'll look at real case studies with actionable strategies and hopefully some fresh ideas for impactful leadership programs in just 15 to 20 minutes. So as part of our HR Bites series, it is a short session today. Unfortunately, we don't allow time for questions in this format. However, I will have our details up on the last slide, so you can absolutely reach out if you have any questions or if there is anything that you would like to chat to us about further. Before we kick off though, I do just need to share a disclaimer that we are not lawyers and we're not providing legal advice. We're also not providing any specific advice for your organisation, as each organisation and situation is unique. And a little bit about Harrison's, for those of you who don't know. We offer 4 key service streams. We have our generalist consulting, which is the most traditional and what you probably think of when you hear of an HR consultant. We have our HR team service, which is essentially where you outsource your HR function or your HR team to us. And we offer recruitment and onboarding for key positions. And My HR Experts, which is a subscription-based model that allows you access to an online portal, and we have a very exciting update in this space that I'm also going to share with you very shortly at the end of this session. Okay, effective leadership is a fundamental driver of business success, cultivating high-performance teams, fostering innovation and ensuring strategic execution that directly impacts profitability, employee retention, and customer satisfaction. Having a strong leadership team is what sets organisations apart. If you have a think about key challenges that your organisation has faced over the last few years, COVID, labour shortage, work from home versus back in the office, productivity, profitability, what do you think tackling those challenges would have looked like if you had a team of exceptionally capable leaders leading the charge? And how may have that been different? Leadership is the engine that drives high performance, that fosters innovation and directly impacts the bottom line. Our insights at Harrison's consistently show that the most pressing people and culture issues across all industries fundamentally stem from a lack of effective leadership in the first instance. So today, we'll explore why prioritising leadership development is critical and how it creates a cascading positive effect throughout your organisation. Investing in leadership development is not just an option, but a critical strategic imperative at this point. So, why the reluctance to invest? We know the critical importance of effective leadership, and we also know that there are many leaders out there currently that are lacking the necessary skills to drive business performance. So why do we see this reluctance to invest in leadership development from some organisations? Before we dive into solutions, let's acknowledge the 3 primary reasons that leadership development can fail. The first is a generic approach that doesn't consider the unique context. It might ignore individual leadership styles, the specific organisational culture or business challenges, and try to roll out a cookie cutter approach. The second is programs that are heavy on theory but light on practical application. And thirdly, one-off training without ongoing support. We see lots and lots of really expensive leadership development programs out there that get rolled out and completed in a day or 2, and then there is no further support, mentoring or coaching from there. Does that sound familiar? These are the pitfalls that we help our clients avoid. At Harrison's, we recommend starting by thoroughly assessing where your leaders are now, not just their skills, but how they operate within your unique culture. Then we design targeted solutions that address the specific gaps and opportunities within your organisation. Implementation includes ongoing support because we know that real change takes time. And as leaders, we're all evolving. We're all consistently and continuously improving. No one's at their final destination in leadership. Finally, we measure results and continuously evolve the approach based on what's working. Looking at the pillars of effective leadership development, it's really important that your leadership development is purpose-driven. So we want to align the development goals with both business strategy and individual career aspirations. It needs to be meaningful to the person undergoing the training, and leaders need to understand the why behind their development journey. The next is experiential learning, providing real-world challenges, stretch assignments, and opportunities to practice new skills in safe environments. So those neurological pathways are being set. People are learning how it looks, sounds, and feels to act as an effective leader rather than just reading about it or hearing about it in a classroom setting. It's important to create networks of leaders who can support, challenge, and learn from each other through both formal and informal challenge, because then you're supporting the consistent reinforcement and providing a network of support rather than just going to a facilitator or just going to a manager, which is sometimes feels more safe and accessible to participants. Ongoing support. So that's coaching, mentoring, additional tools and resources that extend well beyond the initial training sessions to ensure that the leadership change and leadership development is sustainable. And lastly, measurable impact. Like all things that we do in business, it's really important to stop and reflect on whether or not it's working. And if it's working, what's working well? Let's do more of that. Let's adjust our approaches based on the results rather than just sticking to the plan that we maybe had in mind at the outset. Here's a list of some practical strategies for your consideration. Now, the approach varies based on your organisation size and resources and where the team is at. Smaller teams may benefit from external expertise and industry networking, whilst medium to large enterprises can develop more sophisticated internal systems. The key is starting where you are and building systematically. Even small steps can yield significant results when they're the right steps for your context. So looking at this list, there may be a couple of things that you have tried or that are in place already, but potentially some that are not. If you haven't done any of these, then that's a really good starting place, because you can pick a couple that you think that would yield the greatest benefit for your organisation and go from there. At Harrison's, we've seen all of these methods used across different organisations, different industries, and different sizes. So if you do have any questions or would like some more information about any of these practical strategies, we can certainly help with that. Your action plan. As part of today's HR Byte session, let's create a roadmap for action so that we are going away with something tangible that we can put in place. You don't need to transform everything at once. Sustainable change happens in phases. So start with assessment in the next month. Conduct informal leadership capability assessment. So have a look at previous performance reviews if you have that process in place in your organisation. Have a look at the feedback from your employee engagement surveys if you're doing that, and the questions that relate to leadership, your exit interviews, your complaints register. All of these things will help to identify the capability of your leaders, assess the top leadership challenges in your organisation. And if you don't have any of that, you can look at surveying employees about leadership effectiveness. You may also like to research external development resource and partners if you don't feel as though you have the capacity or the capability within the team currently to run this process. Then, over the next few months, is where you'll look at designing your approach. So, what does the pilot leadership development initiative look like? Do you have leadership team buy-in and approval for resources? Who will we test it on first? Who are the initial group of participants? And what are the baseline measurements and success metrics? If the organisation is going to invest in this process, how will they know if it's working? What does good look like in this context? And then finally, over the next 6 months, you can have a look to launch your pilot program with ongoing support, gather feedback and adjust the approach as needed, measure your initial outcomes and the impact of those, and look at planning an organisation-wide rollout strategy. This is a case study, a real-life case study of an existing Harrison's client that we have been supporting over the last few months, and in fact is wrapping up in the next few weeks, so it's still in progress. And it is a leadership development program that was focused on strengthening leadership capabilities in a high-intensity disability services environment. So having a look at the program overview for this particular case, we were looking to address leadership skill gaps for internal promotions. We wanted to improve the delegation, feedback and team management skills, strengthen leadership accountability and communication, and enhance organisational culture, and reduce crisis-driven leadership, which is what we see so often and is the core excuse or reasoning, if you like, that we hear from leaders around why they can't engage in effective leadership is because I'm too busy putting out fires, or I don't have the time to have one-on-ones with my team, or whatever that may be. So our cohort was up to 14 managers, with 2 of those receiving focused mentoring on top of the overarching program. It was 3 months with workshops every 2 weeks on a Thursday, starting from mid-July this year. And the delivery mode was workshops, coaching, peer learning, and applied tasks. So that's that experiential learning that we spoke about. So upskilling and reskilling employees helps retain talent and close skill gaps, but there is a slight difference between the two. Both upskilling and reskilling apply to the development of talent, and both require the employee to learn new skills. But the difference is that upskilling and the difference between upskilling and reskilling is seen in the result. The processes are similar in that they help employees expand their knowledge, but they differ in the nature of skills learned and in the end goal of the learning. Upskilling advances talent on a linear path, such as career progression into a manager role, whereas reskilling results in a lateral movement, like being redeployed to learn a new technology or lead a new team. A little bit more about our program structure. We created 6 interactive workshops with optional one-on-one coaching for key leaders. This coaching was done by a qualified and experienced coach external to the business as part of the Harrison's team. A number of team building activities, applied learning tasks, and peer learning discussions. And the assessment component was pre and post program evaluations, optional 360-degree feedback, and leadership style self-assessments, which can be a really great tool for employees self-identifying their areas of development. Some additional program elements was monthly mentoring for key leaders as required, monthly peer check-ins, practical application and role plays so that they could, again, set the neurological pathways. What does it look, feel, and sound like in these situations when I'm being an effective leader, and additional leadership resources and reading materials to refer back to. We understand that everyone has different learning styles, and we try as we can to appeal to each of those. The outcomes that we've already begun to see and that we expect to see down the path from this leadership development program are stronger, more confident leaders, improved delegation, feedback, and communication skills, enhanced team collaboration and dynamics, sustainable leadership growth beyond the program, because it is a constant evolution, and reduced operational burden on senior leaders so that they can spend more time doing the stuff that matters to them in their roles. So, if you'd like a little bit of help with any of the things that we have discussed today, or maybe you have already begun the process internally, but are feeling a little bit stuck, please reach out. Here are just some of the ways that here at Harrison's we can help. We can offer DISC profiling, coaching, and leadership development workshop, which is a really great place to start if you haven't done any profiling in the past. Workforce planning and capability assessment, if you're not really sure what the gaps are, or your leadership capability may be appropriate for now, but potentially not for 3 to 5 years, depending on your strategic plan. A 360-degree survey for the leaders in your organisation, which involves feedback and tailored coaching programs. We do offer a frontline leadership program, which is targeted towards those middle managers who have the challenge of leading the employees who report into them, but also delivering to the leaders that they report into. And of course, Claire Harrison, our managing director, has published 2 books, one of which being the CEO's Secret Guide to Managing and Motivating Employees, which you can grab a copy of that if you want to jump to our website. Lastly, I did mention that we had some exciting news and updates in the My HR Experts space. The team have been working tirelessly to revamp this service offering and website online portal, and we are very excited to confirm that we will be launching the new website next week. So if you want a front row seat to what is coming in this space and how it might help, the registration link is there at the top of my page. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're following any Harrison's employee, you'll see we've all been sharing it. We're all really excited about it, so you'll be able to grab the link from there. If you want to quickly take a photo or a screenshot or a copy of this is how you can contact us if you want to have a chat or if you need a hand with anything at all. We run these HR Bites sessions across a number of different topics, and we do try to tailor them based on what's interesting, what's in demand at the time. So we would love to see you at our next session. Thank you all so much for your time today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Kelly Hallett, Head of HR Team Service at Harrison's.